What's up, guys? Welcome to Frugal BC, and I am sorry for the late stream here. We had a little bit of difficulty getting going here, but we seem to be working now. So let's see. We have I should be able to see the chat settings. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So any comments you have, leave them in the description today. Welcome back to the Sunday Market Watch. Quite a good week. I've got a new puppy dog. She's sitting by me right now, and hopefully won't interrupt the live stream too much. And boy, I'm a little dark. I just want to see how that's showing up on YouTube. Sorry about that. But we are going to get into it in just a second. Sorry, this is the reality of. This is the reality. What doesn't even pop up on here? So this is what I'm talking about. Oh, here we are. So this is the reality. Okay, way better. Looks really dark on my screen, but actually it's quite bright on the live stream. So hey, today we are going to talk about. We got a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to get into the market watch and kind of look at the crypto news. Today we're going to see how things have been doing on the week. I'd like to do that week-long look. I think that gives us a better idea of where the prices are going compared to the daily. And then we're going to talk about the videos I made this week and which ones I'm going to have coming up. We're going to get into some crypto news and that I think is standing out. And then we're going to answer some of your questions. So some of the ones I took from, okay, I'm going to have to give me just a second. I have to put the dog away. Come on, Abby. Come on, Abby. We're going to have to go in your kennel. Stay here. There you go. Yep. And there you go. And there's your little toy. Sorry about that, guys. At least I'm glad I got the video working. I was having trouble getting the video working. And so we're going to answer some questions that people had. So that's all on today's live stream. Hopefully these will start going smoother because I got to say live streaming is just a big pain in the butt. It's like all this stuff happens at the last minute. The camera was working. I was just waiting to start, and all of a sudden I look up and it switched to the default, and it switched to the default camera, which my default camera on my laptop doesn't work. So that's what happened there. But enough of that. Let's get into it. Let's just start right with the market update. So not a great week overall. So if we're talking about Bitcoin, we're down 9% on the week, and just a little bit, like 1% on the day, sitting at 54,263 as I'm speaking. Just went up a teeny tiny bit as we're speaking. So did Ethereum. Ethereum is down 7% on the week, 1.41% on the day. Binance Coin down a teeny tiny bit. Let's see. Solana is down 13% and 5% today. It's at $188. It's the lowest I've seen it in quite some time. Followed by Cardano down 20.67%. So Solana, probably a good time to get in, and might be a good time to get into Cardano too. Not financial advice. XRP under $1. It's down 14% on the week. What else is interesting? I always skip over stable coins. Obviously there's no price interest there. It stays $1, right? So Polkadot down 18%. Dogecoin down 13.69%. This is all weekly. Avalanche down 23.65. That's one I've heard a lot of good things about. I was thinking about getting into. Might be a good time to throw a few dollars in. But I don't know. I'm kind of waiting for this pump. So I bought into a lot of stuff when it went down, and some of it gone up, some of it stayed the same. Shiba Inu, which has made its way, by the way, to number 12 on the coin market cap. That's pretty impressive for a meme coin. Well, Dogecoin is at 10 though, so that's down 16.78%. Shiba Inu is down 5% on the day. Terra Luna is kind of bucking the trend, up about 10% on the week, 9% on the day. So that's been doing pretty good. Crypto.com coin down 2.53%. Doesn't really erase its huge pump though. It's something to keep in mind. From here on out, I'm just going to look at almost everything is down by either single digit or, over 12. I mean, Algorand is something I'm a big fan of. That's been down 12%. So if you're looking to buy in Algorand, might not be a bad time to do it. Again, not financial advice. Decentraland, 24% up on the week, even though it's down 4% on the day. That's still a huge pump. I bought into that in the low $2 range. So I'm happy with that pump. Let me just check to restream. Let's see. Oh, good. Sound is great. Video is great. Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, it is now. It wasn't earlier. I couldn't get it to work, and it was really frustrating. So I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Big shout out to you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Otherwise, a lot of downs. There's some variations, and I'm going to get to those. But just about everything is down for the week. Now, here's a big exception, and I'm going to say that I think the metaverse projects are going to be a general exception to the downtrend, just because the metaverse, as soon as Mark Zuckerberg talked about Meta, all these projects have gone through the roof, and I've been kind of following them anyway because I think this stuff is interesting. So all that is to say, Sandbox is up 75%. That is huge. Good for you, Sandbox. So this is a metaverse project. It's up 7% on the day. Price is $6.92, so that's a pretty low price. I might wait for a little crash maybe, but that might not be a bad one to get into. Again, I'm probably not going to, because, and I'll get to that in a second. Well, I did already. I talked about Decentraland Mana. That's at 24% up on the week, so I'm a big fan of that one. I'm going to stick with that one. But I've heard really good things about Sandbox, and can't shake your head at that price prediction or where it's going. And then there's this coin called Gallo, and I admit I don't know anything about this. I know this just got listed on Coinbase. It says 65 cents, but it's gone up 66.69% on the week. That's really something, huh? And let's see. I might have to look into that one just to see what it is. Loopring is up 10%. That's not too bad. I'm just going to talk about ones in the top 50 to 100. AMP. So we got to talk about AMP, because I've been a pretty big fan of AMP. I really like the use case. Like, you can actually go to places such as Dunkin' Donuts right now and buy with AMP. You have to use the gift card system. It's a little bit troublesome, but I like the idea that it has a use case, and they're really trying to make this a really simple payments platform. And so I bought a lot of AMP when it was down in the 1-2 cents range. So it being at 7%, it's up 37.5% on the week and 18.73% on the day. Like I said, currently at 7 cents. So good for you, AMP. It's nice to have something that's up. Kusama up a little bit on the day, 1.57, excuse me. Bitcoin SV is up 2.5 on the day, but down on the week. Yeah, there was not a lot to get excited about. Oh, and the one other one that I think I'll talk about is Basic Attention Token, BAT. Now, BAT has been kind of middling for a long time, and in the last 7 days, though, it's gone up 45.38%. It's currently at $1.59. So I've been happy to see that. I use the Brave browser. I'm a big fan of it, and I highly recommend that. So keep that in mind. And I don't know if there's much else I want to talk about on the Cello's way down. I'm kind of a fan of Cello, not for any really good reason, other than it seems to generally go the opposite direction that most of the other coins do. It didn't really do that today. Anchor up 16.7. There's a few, like Audius is up a little bit on the week. Sia Coin, XDC, Network, LivePeer, all up on the week, but down a little bit on the day. Some of them a lot on the day. And yeah, top 100, Boro is up 15% and on the weekend. That's about it for the top 100. So I'm going to return to the stream, and hope you guys are all doing well out there today. We're going to get into the next topic. So videos this week. So a couple videos I did for you guys. I did a Tiny Man walkthrough. So I'm actually really impressed with Tiny Man. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool website where you can swap for a lot of different tokens with your Algorand. I hope they keep adding tokens, because I think that's awesome. And unlike anything on Ethereum, you can do it for extraordinarily cheap. Now, the other thing you can do is create liquidity tokens. So you create token pairs. I paired Algorand with Yieldy. So then that you provide liquidity to the exchange, and then when anyone buys it, you get a little teeny percentage of the proceeds. So I've been working on that. Now, I said I was going to give you a little bit of update on the live stream, and I did, but then I realized I think I was a little bit more confused. One of the things I talked about when I did this video was that I had said the same thing with Balancer. There just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough data showing like, hey, here's how much you put in, here's how much you're earning each day. That kind of stuff is the stuff I really want. And that's why the reason I want this is because this confusion comes up. So what's been happening is the amount of algo I have is going up, but Yieldly is going down. So I'm not really sure how much I'm making. I know the dollar amount is different, but it's hard to separate that from price action because it'll give you like the dollar amount in fiat dollars. And I know it's more than I had when I started, but I'm not entirely sure how much total that equals, because it's exchanging back and forth. So it's a little unclear how much I'm making, but I don't know. It's a fun experiment and we'll see where it is in 30 days. So we'll talk about that. And then the other one I did was on Cake DeFi. Now here's a funny story because on Cake DeFi, right after I made the video, I think I posted that Wednesday, if I remember right. And then I kind of took a little break for Thanksgiving. So I haven't done a video until today. And right after that, I lost my phone in Florida, fell in the ocean, didn't work, and I lost my authenticator, which you use for two-factor authentication. The check kind of came due yesterday. For some reason, I was logged out of all my stuff, and when I went back in to like Cake DeFi, I was going to do my liquidity harvesting, Friday I was going to do that, and I couldn't. So I had. And also happened with Coinbase too. I was kicked out of Coinbase. So interestingly, I had to go through the process of getting the two-factor removed so I could get back in and then reestablish it with my new phone. Now here's what's really interesting. Cake DeFi, I had to send in my passport and a notebook with a selfie. I had to take a selfie with the notebook with some stuff they tell you to say on it, like eliminate two-factor, today's date, etc., and my passport, and take that and send it to somebody, and then they released it. Coinbase, I only had to ask. I think that's really interesting. And while it was more convenient to just have to ask and have it done, it's also a little scary because you think, well, what would stop someone else from doing this? So I just thought that was really interesting. That Cake DeFi seemed to have a more robust security than Coinbase. Really interesting, in my opinion. All right, let's see. So then, coming up this week, I'm either going to do one on Algonomics, which is a website with statistics for tokens based on the Algorand platform, or AlgoGems, which is an NFT platform I'm really interested in. It seems to work really well. I've heard really good things about it. So one of the two, but it kind of depends on how much time I have to actually play around with the AlgoGems network. And I got a new puppy dog, as I mentioned earlier. She's sitting in her. I had to put her in her pen because she was being a little too disruptive. But she's sitting there right next to me in her pen and chilling out. We're going to go to the dog park after this. And then the other one I want to do is on financial independence and crypto. I think this would be a really good video. As some of you know, I came from the financial independence, retire early movement. I don't know if a movement is really the right word. I like to call it a framework. And it's a pretty simple framework. If you save up 25 times your annual spending, you should be able to withdraw 4% of your portfolio, and your portfolio will stay intact and you won't have to work. You can live off that's the formula for living off your portfolio. Now, of course, there are different aspects of that. If you earn some kind of income, like passive income, that factors in too. So maybe you don't need to save as much. So I've been trying to kind of figure out the confluence between financial independence and crypto. How does crypto change that formula? I'm not sure. I've been doing a lot of research, and so expect that video next week as well. And before I get into the news, I want to talk a little bit about taking profits, because we talked about this. I've talked about this on the channel before, and every time I talk about it, I feel just a little like I didn't quite get at what I mean. So I want to take one more stab at it before we get into the news, and then we'll get to your questions. And remember to leave your questions in the comments. Odds are I will answer them because there's not that many people watching yet, and so a good chance to get your questions answered toward the end of the broadcast. So go ahead and leave them in there. And while we're talking, I'm going to talk about taking profits. So the first thing I want to say, and I thought about this morning a lot and kind of worked out what I was going to say. The first thing I want to make clear is that profit taking, you don't need to do this in order to be successful at crypto. And so I did some research for that video that's coming out next week, and I'll give you a little sneak peek. Bitcoin, now here's the thing about Bitcoin. Like right now it's at 54 and we're all kind of like, oh man, it could be a little better. Couldn't it? 54, come on, let's go up. 1 year ago today, Bitcoin was worth $17,000. So let's think about that. Let's look at some actual comparisons. So what I figured out is that Bitcoin is in the last 4 years has gone up 1,300%. That's 1,300%. Ethereum has gone up 6,000%. Now, what's the base? That's a lot. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. 4 years is kind of a long time, but that's still a lot. So by comparison, I looked up the S&P 500. Do you know how much that has gone up? That has gone up a little more than 100%. It was at 2,400 to like 5,200 or something like that. So it's a little more than 100%, maybe 110, 120. So just by comparison, in that same time frame, if you were dollar cost averaging, you did quite well. If you've been dollar cost averaging since 2017, you have done really, really well right now. Yeah, you might have bought in the $60,000 range a couple times, but you also bought in like the 17, the 18, the 20s, all over the place. So that's something to think about. Hey Shelby, I see your question, and we will definitely get to that. I appreciate that question, brother. Shelby's been on the channel before. Another good YouTuber focusing on Algorand, and we'll talk about that in a second. So when I talk about profit taking, what am I talking about? Well, first off, the other thing to remember about this, like I said, you don't have to do it. But another way to think about this is something you're going to do once every 4 years or so. Now, you could do it more often if you want to be more aggressive, but I don't think you have to. When I talk about profit taking, what I'm talking about is Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle, and the other altcoins kind of follow along. They come a little later usually in the cycle. But Bitcoin right now is setting the pace, and it's all based on the halvening. So in the halvening, you have where people who are mining, they get about half of what they were normally getting. So the rate of return for them halves, and that makes the coin more valuable. And what you have is these two bulls. You have kind of a mini bull and then a regular bull cycle that comes after it. There's specific terms, and I can't remember them off the top of my head. And then you have a bear market. So when we talk about profit taking, what we're talking about is setting price targets above all-time highs and saying when it hits that, I'm going to sell, 10%, 15%. So I'm going to say what I'm going to do. Again, not financial advice. Just going to be clear about how I approach this for Bitcoin right now, because right now we're in the end of that bull cycle, and we should be hitting highs. A lot of the experts say around 100 to 120. There's some people that think it's even higher. I think that's probably unlikely, but you never know. If it does, it'll be a happy surprise. What my targets are when it gets to 75K, I'm going to sell off a little. And when I say sell off, I mean I'm going to transition into stable coins. And then when it goes to 85, I'm going to transition a little more, 95 more, 100, et cetera, et cetera. And so what I do then, I don't take the cash, I keep it in that stable coin. And then later during the bear market, when the price drops, and it will drop, I don't know how much, we have seen 80% price drops with Bitcoin in bear markets. There's a lot of people that think with the situation now that won't happen. It'll be more like 50 or 40. We'll see. But I'm going to wait a long time into the bear market, and then I'm going to buy back in, and I'm essentially getting discounted. I've increased the number of Bitcoin that I have, or whatever other coins. And so what you're doing is it's kind of like a little leapfrog. You're selling off at the top and buying low. Now, normally I consider that, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, you can hear me. I'll keep talking while. Oh, come on. It's flashing too. That's what I don't get. I don't know why I'm having this problem, but let's plug it in. All right, hold on a second. Can't reload. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, I'm gonna have to do the rest. So basically, what I'm doing is kickstarting my portfolio by taking profits. All right, I'm gonna skip the news this week. I'm gonna have to figure out this video stuff. I don't know why it's not showing. But I'll start with a live comment. Shelby, you asked, besides Bit, ETH, and Algo, what are you focusing on? Well, I'm gonna pull up my Coinbase account. Yeah, I'm like super annoyed at this. The video comes. Sorry guys about the video. I just this drives me nuts. Let's just look. I'll just look at what am I interested in? Yeah, so I kind of talked about Decentraland. I bought like $20 of this, and it's currently worth about 80 some dollars. I'm big on metaverse projects. I have a Shiba Inu moon bag of like worth about $65 right now. That's just nothing. AMP I talked about on the Market Watch breakdown. That's, well, it was at 7 cents now. According to Coinbase, it's a little less than that, but it's finally starting to take off a little bit. I think Chainlink is a good project. I like Rarible. I finally bought into Solana. And so I've made a little bit on that. Now that it's low, it's kind of down. But so I'll make like little investments in some of these. I'm less concerned about the coin than the project, though. Some of the projects are like some of the DeFi projects are really interesting. And guys, again, I'm really sorry about the video. It literally just happened all of a sudden. But I'm big on so I've been trying to explore different DeFi projects. I really like Cake DeFi. I think it's a good project. You can watch my review videos on that. And I like Yieldy a lot. I really like Yieldy. So I have the token mostly so I can use the project. I keep trying to fix this. I don't know why it won't recognize it. It just all of a sudden decides, oh, never mind. And yeah, so I'm always looking for stuff that I like when you can get in early on a project. So if you can get on early and the project seems to have a lot of potential, there's an actual use case. Sometimes like Shiba, I think I mostly bought Shiba just so I can make a video about it, but I don't have a lot of faith in Shiba. Again, I'm really sorry about the video. I don't know what happened here, but I can't even switch the default. That's what really sucks because my default one won't work. What is that? Oh, I can share screen. All right, I'll keep that in mind next time. Yeah, so those are the projects I'm really interested in. Now let's see what else do people like. Or here's some other questions I had last week. Right when the show ended last week, someone asked about StormX. Honestly, I don't know a thing about StormX. I'm sorry. Unless someone presents a good use case for it. The reason I come across projects in the first place, and this kind of answers Shelby's question a little bit too, usually people are talking about it and they're making a case. They're not just like, hey, this coin go to the moon, but they're like, hey, this project does X, Y, Z, that seems like a good project to get into. Then, okay, I'm going to get into it. The reason I like Algorand so much is that the ecosystem actually works. I don't need a computer science degree to make it work. I can just do the thing. I have the My Algo wallet, and I can sign up for projects like Lofty, Yieldy, all these good projects. So that's another one I'm really big on, by the way, Shelby. I'm really big on the Lofty AI's project because it's not really a coin. It's more of a, boy, how would you describe it? It's almost like a DAO, it's like you're participating, you can buy these tokens that are a tokenized ownership of real estate, and you get real rent payments, and they give them to you every day, which is kind of random. I was kind of surprised about that, and the video is not back. I have more people watching. Are you guys seeing the video? I'm not. Yeah, Nathan. Nathan, were you the one that asked about StormX? Is there a use case for it or something that's really really compelling with it? Let me know. And Chris H says, I've been staking on Yieldy too. I think it has huge potential. Yeah, you said you use Solana and you find Yieldy way more user-friendly. Yeah, just about everything on Algorand is really user-friendly, and that's why I'm big on it. Like, it's something I would show my sister how to use Algorand and some of its various things before I would show just about anything else. Like Tiny Man, Swap, it's so easy compared to other ones. If you're just tuning in, yeah, I've had some video problems. It worked for about the first 20 minutes and then it conked out. I haven't had that happen before, so I'm really confused why that happened. Maybe the camera's going bad. I don't know. Let's see what else. Someone asked if I was Adam Savage from Mythbusters. I actually thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if they were trying to be. I don't know if they were trying to be mean or funny, but I don't know. I got a kick out of it. I thought it was kind of amusing. And the funny thing is, when I was a kid, I actually kind of looked like Fred Savage, so I got called Fred Savage a lot. I think that's kind of funny. Again, guys, sorry. I guess if you're listening to this later, you can treat it like a podcast, huh? But I will try to get those issues resolved. Sorry, I got to skip the news today. I'll probably go through it really quickly. And then governance. So talking about Algorand governance, someone asked about, because then I did this video about the final results of Algorand governance, and there was a huge drop off toward the end. And I think someone nailed it, but someone asked, like, well, they thought it was people being kicked off for not having enough algo committed to vote. So as in they had committed too few algo in the first place. So I think what it was is people just forgot to vote. I don't remember seeing, and I think they would have made this really clear. I don't remember seeing a minimum to participate. And if they had a minimum, they wouldn't have let you sign up without meeting the minimum, right? And as far as I can tell. So I think that's the mystery solved. So I'll go through the news really quick. Again, if you're just tuning in, had some problems with the video. So the first 20 minutes had video, but now the rest doesn't. Sorry. A crypto team is trying to buy an NBA team. So they're called Krause House. It's a DAO that was formed, named after late Bulls manager Jerry Krause, and it's an attempt to buy an NBA franchise. Now, I thought this was interesting because they came up, there was a group that tried to buy a copy of the US Constitution, but they kind of came up short in their bid. And it's a pretty cool idea, but they've so far raised $4 million, and the lowest valued NBA team, which is the Memphis Grizzlies, cost $1.3 billion. So I think unless you get some big whales involved, good luck with that. Cool idea, though. I mean, I hope someday that happens. I just don't think it's probably going to happen today or tomorrow. El Salvador has bought even more Bitcoin. So they bought another 100 Bitcoin. The El Salvador president Bukele says they bought the dip. Now, this is really interesting. You have a president of a country talking about buying the dip in crypto. As you know, I talked about last week, El Salvador is building a Bitcoin city, which is fully based around Bitcoin. And the government there has been buying a lot of crypto too. So pretty interesting. And they say they are going to be one of the first, or they were the first to announce that Bitcoin was an official form of payment. And this next one I find interesting. The Celsius CFO has been arrested on money laundering charges, actually in connection with a money laundering scheme. 7 people were arrested in Tel Aviv, suspected of money laundering and other charges. Now, Celsius has acknowledged the arrest. They said he was suspended pending the investigation, and said the arrest had nothing to do with Celsius, which does seem to be true. Now, Celsius also did a check just to make sure no money was missing or nothing nefarious had happened. It had not. I mean, this is your chief financial officer, so probably a good idea to check. And so the arrest had to do with a previous job that the CFO worked at. And we don't really know the exact charges he specifically is facing. We just know, in general, it's there's money laundering and some other charges like sexual assault and all kinds of stuff. So we don't know what's connected with him, and I want to be really clear about that. All right, let's see. So I think we answered all the questions. And again, really sorry about the lack of video toward the last 10 minutes there. Hope everyone enjoyed the show anyway. I'm gonna have to tinker around. I don't know why this never happens because I record the video with my webcam too, and I never have this problem. So I don't know what's going on, but thanks guys for watching, and hopefully next time we'll get the video stuff worked out, and keep an eye on those videos that I got coming up. Check out my other ones, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we will see you next time.